de la bola, directement Pipi, Arrête-la-man, les cassous, il publie, Champompo, Champisi, oh, it was fire!
Gosh, the Sharks 24, Benetton 25. Oh, gosh. It wasn't a great watch for myself, Sean the Nose. There were pockets of the game. Individually, you saw something that excited you. For example, the two Werner Koch tries, individual doggedness, a determination just to get across the line, and which is wonderful, always wonderful to see. But once again, the defence, the ill discipline, the lack of cohesion. That we should have been out of sight come halfway through the second half. But that lack of cohesion, and lo and behold, because we're not, the red card, you could have put your mortgage on Benetton scoring a try after the red card. We all knew it was coming, and lo and behold, it came. And it's every single game, including the Claremont game, is the same pattern of rugby we're seeing from the Sharks, and we're not seeing any light that suggests that next season's it's good. Look what's happening, and no. I've lost complete confidence with Plumtree and the coaching staff. And you just think, what would your coach do with those players? I bet he'd love to have those at the Lions.
Sure. Yeah. We could have just two of them, 2 or 3. I think it could be like season changing for the Lions.
I agree.
The skill sets of you're talking about like a team like the Lions and the Sharks. The skill sets between the two teams is huge. The Lions are so much more skillful. The Sharks, it's childlike. I watch it and I'm like, I can't believe what I'm actually witnessing. It must be, Eben must be sitting there like wanting to pull his hair out, because it must be so frustrating for those guys.
And embarrassing.
All those things. And it wasn't made easier for them because and Eben went off, and Koch limped off as well, very early on in the match, prop Koch. And so that's going to set you back. 3 World Cup winners go off the field. But they were still so far ahead. I think there was 12 points with 9 minutes to go. And Benetton won by 1 point. Why, Elmer? Why is this happening in your view?
I could only point the finger at the coaches. We've been having this same conversation every single week all season. There's not one Sharks game where I haven't had this mini rant. I don't. It just flows off the tongue at the moment. You can only point at the coaches. The cohesion just hasn't come at all. You're relying on individuals to turn games. Even in the Claremont game, you saw the second half that Eben appeared to be running the show, getting the players together, and he became the focal point and the force. And Claremont's cultural 70-minute slide off that they seem to do in every game helped. And but we were awful in that game. Do
you think? I don't.
What do you think, Angie? Because what do you think?
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. But I also think there's a couple of players there that are just like nowhere players. Like the number 6. He's like doesn't do anything. I don't get it. Werner Koch is beyond useless in my opinion. He had 4 up and unders. He missed 3. Not. And then the one he caught was like above his head. It's such bad technique. Throws the ball out the side of the pitch on the last attack of the game, and I don't say that like happily, because the guy puts everything into every game he plays. His skill set is just so bizarre sometimes when he ball handling. So he was completely off. The stupidity of that red card was a bit stupid. Do you know what I mean? And like why so in the World Cup the Springboks were the most disciplined team. Do you know that? Hey, the most disciplined team in the tournament. Now,
they didn't have a yellow card till it the final.
If that guy, what was his name again? Costa. If he had done something like that in the Springboks, I think he would have been dropped, and the players wouldn't have let him get away with that, because there's a level and a standard that the players demand of each other, which I don't think the Sharks are doing. So I think Eben and the guys try and pull it up, but there's so many people dragging it down that the momentum is in a downward shift. So, and that creates just a bigger gap between those Springboks. And when you took 3 of them out, I thought to myself, hey, this was like early on, 20 minutes, 3 of them were off, and I thought they're going to lose this game. And then they went ahead, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe the Sharks have learned something. And then I'm like, okay, clearly they haven't learned anything. So
the culture's rotten though. We saw how the Sharks were without the Springboks. They were losing to everybody, even Trevisa, and Zebra, sorry, and the Springboks coming in. Yeah, they've improved the Sharks, and we win some games now, but they're not convincing wins because it's all wrong. It's just you're relying on individuals to get us across the line. And
who's the captain? Was it M?
Yeah. He threw a great pass to create a try, but again, you're relying on individuals. And I'm not sure. I'm one of those old school people who I like a forward to be captain. I like an 8-man or a flanker.
I think it would be my choice too. But I don't know if I don't know enough about but he doesn't seem like the kind of guy to put his foot down with. If you take a guy like Eben, you think, I'm not going to mess with this guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to tell me, listen, don't fuck around. You're not up to the level of I don't think M's going to do this. You know what I mean? Like, you almost need that lieutenant general in the Sharks to start pulling the guy. Roy Keane he didn't take shit. And he'd go up to the players and say, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I don't think those guys are living up to that. And I can't see where they're being challenged either. So, the front row, yes, really played well. Eben, and then nothing in the rest of the pack. Like, for me, honestly, nobody I hear these names and then I'm just Lapis Labaskhafni, I see him there. I don't understand what he's doing. It's dreadful. Dreadful.
I can laugh about it. What else do you do? Congratulations to Benetton, Sharks. It's a bit like Bosch. If Plumtree's at the helm next season, it's, well, what? What are we expecting as Sharks supporters? But you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting what? It's suddenly to click. What to click? I'm not seeing what he's trying to do.
Oh, it just